Hi, I'm Kamla Rampersad de Silva, and this is a 50 and fabulous video. The world at the moment is dealing with a global health crisis. COVID-19 has affected so many countries and has been devastating to many. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have already had 5 recognized cases. So some actions have been taken. Our government has closed the borders. That means no visitors to this country for the next 14 days. Of course, our nationals will be allowed to return. And based on what we have seen in the media, it is clear that some of those may be exposed to the virus and may come back infected. What then would be our response? So government has also been very clear with some of its directives. For instance, all schools remain closed until April 20th. That's a good thing. It means that we are protecting the young. I would also suggest that persons who are 60 and over should limit their movements. Go into self-isolation. This means you don't move around unnecessarily. Even for groceries, have your family members do your shopping and take care of your needs. What we need to recognize is that lots of families would be scared, that people are concerned and they're not always quite sure how to respond. So I went out today and saw numerous persons wearing their masks. Some are also ensuring that they wear gloves. That's also a good thing because we need to find a way to limit the spread. What the world is looking for is called flattening the curve because the virus is very infectious. So, but there's also at the same time no need for fear because when we think about scientifically what has been proven in terms of how the virus is spread, only if someone who is infected sneezes on you or coughs on you, or if that person sneezes or coughs on a surface where the virus may remain alive for 5 to 6 hours and you touch that surface and then touch your face or in some way then transfer the virus to yourself. So you don't get the virus by standing next to someone. That is important because as much as we look to limit movements or what the world is calling social distancing, we have to be prudent in how we function. Those of us who are able to work, who are productive, we need to consider what the consequence of businesses shutting down is going to mean for us. So this is a time where we need to demonstrate honor, where we need to show loyalty to our companies, and we need to find ways to help ensure that our business continues. Because if it doesn't, they're not likely to be able to get the revenue to pay staff, and if there are no salaries coming in, there are so many ripple effects that's going to be felt on everyone. So as much as we need to do the things that are very common sense, don't go out unnecessarily, don't gather in large spaces. Those of you who are working need to understand that not all businesses can respond in the same manner. So for instance, some companies are able to transfer all of their work online. That's wonderful. Banks can't do that. So many of us need to go in and still do transactions. So we need our bank employees to work. Those companies that have transferred all their services online need the online support to ensure that transactions go through. Persons who are working in supermarkets and pharmacies, there is need for them to work because without access to these vital supplies, we are going to find ourselves in very difficult situations. So I'm really just sharing this video to help allay some of the fears that people may have. Take very common sense precautions. Limit your movements. If your business is non-essential, then reduce the number of staff, reduce the contact, and ensure that everyone has access to facilities to be able to wash their hands properly or to have access to sanitizers. We have to be prudent. We have to make good decisions because we don't want the health crisis to lead to a bigger financial crisis. We will be able to survive this because we love each other. We care for each other, and we can demonstrate in this time of crisis that we know how to be our brother and sisters keepers.